Are you saying you're not single now? Have I missed something in the past couple weeks? What's happening?
Can we stay focused, please?
Okay. Well, you just said it. I was like, oh my. Okay.
Perhaps,
yeah, we have to stay on track.
Perhaps
we'll save this for a glass of wine on Sunday.
Perhaps it's with this new love of mine.
Yeah, I can't with you. That's so unfair because we have 9 minutes, and all I want to do is ask about is it the yes, it is, isn't it? It is. Okay. Well, this is very exciting.
Yeah.
He's very handsome.
Her best friend didn't tell her that she's dating a guy. Meghan is so wrapped up in her own life. She has no idea about what's happening in her BFF's life until they sit down for a podcast interview. Doesn't that just tell you everything about this woman? Meghan Markle's flop podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder in so much crisis that A-listers have ghosted the Duchess. All of the big names, from Taylor Swift to Beyonce, said hell no. Their calls quietly ignored. One industry insider saying no one's picking up the phone for that diva. So as a result, she's having to interview her BFFs. But it doesn't always go particularly well, including in this new episode today with Katie Lee. Now, you might remember Katie Lee. This was her with Meghan at the launch of Highbrow Hippie, the hair care brand that Meghan is a silent investor of. That's not mentioned at all on Confessions. But what is that Meghan doesn't actually know her BFF very well at all. I'm going to run you through all the lowlights and then get reaction with our Royal Mastermind Angela Levin so you don't have to listen to this cringe fest yourself. But here's the introduction to show you how bad things are going to get.
Real talk. Running a business is a lot. Building something new is a long road of making decisions in the dark and then holding this vision in your head when no one else can even see it yet. It can be slow. It can be scrappy. It can be exhausting. It's a process. And there's no roadmap. There's no manual. And if you knew how hard it would get, you might hesitate to start at all. But that initial bravado, that initial going in like, I've got this, maybe it's essential.
Angela, it can be exhausting. Meghan Markle doesn't seem to realize that the whole point of conversations in the independent media and podcasts on platforms like this is that we just talk normally to each other, right? This is all so scripted, also overproduced. And I don't believe that this is coming from her soul.
No, you can see that it seems a piece of filming that you've been done, and so you've been hearing it several times so that you remember it, so you get the right sort of breath when you say, oh, it's so tiring. You know, I mean, all that's phony. If you talk to a friend, you don't do that. It just comes rushing out and follows itself, really. But you can see that this is done exactly to what she wants to say. But this is not going to be helpful. This is not why we're listening to it, watching it. For the woman, if you want to hear how another woman is getting on with their work and managing to be a good mother and a good wife, then, give me the ideas that you've got. I don't mean I need her ideas, absolutely not. But, give me ideas. It's nothing like that. It's all just poor me. She just keeps on doing that when actually it's so irritating. She doesn't have to do it. She chooses to do it and she makes a terrible mess of it.
Well, indeed. Now, Katie Lee is a hair colorist who became quite a big deal working for the A-list in Hollywood. But just to stress, she's on Meghan's payroll. Okay, she's someone who Meghan pays, and that's why when you hear this introduction, I would argue it's very much a relationship that is not at all balanced. Listen.
Disregard the state of my hair right now. I'm so excited. I'm seeing you next week. I should have a baseball cap on, really. I mean, there's a lot going on, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
A lot indeed, but all good stuff. And even more the reason that it's exciting to talk to other female founders right now about their journey, their experience, all the twists and turns that come with the choice to be a female entrepreneur, and especially one of color, and what that means. So let's start when we first met. What year was that?
Oh, it was 2020.
It was 2020. It was very much
It was very much 2020.
Oh, 2020, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know, that time when Prince Philip and the late Queen were dying, and I decided to go on Oprah Winfrey and say terrible things about racism within the royal family to try and jump on the George Floyd bandwagon. Yeah, that time. And Meghan, in this podcast, claims that gave her whiplash.
It felt like such whiplash.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like, gosh, we cannot get a break, you know?
Oh, I understand.
Oh, isn't it all just so funny, Angela? She created that whiplash by lying about a racist within the royal family. Does she not understand that?
No, she doesn't. But also, as well, you know, when did we first meet? She must know it was only a few years ago, and she would know what an important and difficult year that was. She would just say it. This is not a way of just chatting with another woman to find out how they get on in the world. It's got nothing to do with it. And it was a shameful year. And so she shouldn't actually be all full of life and how wonderful it was, and then all these phony sighs. You know, I mean, you want to shake her, don't you? She's got more help than anybody you could possibly imagine, and yet it's just, you know, poor Meghan, poor Meghan. It's no
But
wonder
Angela, this Katie Lee, right? This Katie Lee, if you believe Meghan, this is her BFF, right? This is the woman who she hangs out with all the time, who she really confides in. They're business partners, they're equals, they're friends. She's at the house, they're drinking wine, they're having dinner together. So you would think, Angela Levin, wouldn't you, that if something major had gone down in Katie Lee's life, like maybe perpetually single Katie Lee had finally got a boyfriend, you'd think that she would tell her BFF about that, right? You think Meghan Markle would know about that? Nope. This is bad. Listen.
Single. So then coming home felt like a relief, but then also like, what now?
Are you saying you're not single now? Have I missed something in the past couple of weeks? What's happening?
Can we stay focused, please?
Okay. Well,
But-
you just said it. I was like, oh my. Okay.
Perhaps.
Yep. Stay on track.
Perhaps.
We'll save this for a glass of wine on Sunday after all this.
Yeah. I mean, by the way, lots of wine consumption during that time.
True. Fact.
So Meghan's trying to style that out, but she's just been humiliated by her best friend in the middle of the podcast, Angela Levin, because her best friend didn't tell her that she's dating a guy. Meghan is so wrapped up in her own life. She has no idea about what's happening in her BFF's life until they sit down for a podcast interview. Doesn't that just tell you everything about this woman?
Yes, I mean, actually, if you were excited that you've got a new boyfriend, you'd ring your friends and say, oh, you know, guess what? You don't believe it. It's so lovely, da, da, da. But actually, she wouldn't dare, perhaps, because Meghan is more important than her, because she puts a lot of money into what she's doing with this hair dyeing. It's not actually hairdressing, it's hair dyeing. And Meghan is thrilled with it. So what colour does Meghan use, I wonder? Is her hair grey yet? That's what I ask myself, but I don't know. But, you know, she's if you've got something exciting to tell a best friend, you tell them, don't you, straight away? Otherwise, why are you holding on to it? You don't want to take up the time that they have with you because they're so busy. So you just have a very quick chat and that's it. Very odd.
And that's why
Very
this Megyn Kelly spoof of With Love, Meghan is so brilliant, actually, because it makes it very clear that Meghan only has friends as props. And those friends are there as props to provide her an opportunity to talk about her life. And Meghan's clearly very shaken about the fact that she doesn't know about this guy. What's so mortifying, though, is that because she's the executive producer of the podcast, she obviously makes a decision. Oh no, this humanizes me. I'm going to leave this in because it shows me doing girl talk and laughing hysterically. Watch this.
Able to just live a completely new chapter, and perhaps it's with this new love of mine.
I can't with you. That's so unfair because we have 9 minutes and all I want to do is ask about, is it the yes, it is, isn't it? It is! Okay. Well, this is very exciting.
Yeah.
He's very handsome.
Okay. Have you ever heard a more insincere reaction, Angela?
No, it's this amazing squeak. That's just extraordinary way of responding. But it's so silly, isn't it? I mean, why is it sort of hysterical that you have found a new boyfriend? Why isn't it lovely warmth? And you are saying, I'm so pleased for you. It'll make a big difference in your life type of stuff, rather than going, oh, it's sort of ridiculous, isn't it? It's not hysterical. It's not surprising that a woman gets a boyfriend. I mean, I thought if you're 13, even 12, and you get a boyfriend, then you are all giggly. But I know by someone who's in their 40s, I think it's quite cruel, actually.
Indeed it is. Cruel. Indeed it is, because what I think it shows is that Meghan is always thinking about herself. So when there's this revelation from her BFF, who, let's be honest, we know it's not a BFF. She's a prop. She's a paid prop, just like Daniel, the gay makeup artist, just like they all are, right? But rather than thinking about, as you say, what this means for Katie Lee's life, it's all about what this means for Meghan. Why have you not told me this information? I need to go for a glass of wine. This has to become about me. And of course, we know this podcast, which she presents as being all about learning about these female founders, is actually an opportunity for her to try and justify loads of the headlines out there about herself. And there was another interesting moment about that, Angela, when it came to As Ever. But just before I get to that, I want to show you what really is a completely botched business launch. Look at this post from Meghan's Mike on X, who wrote, asever.com still has 0 products available. Spread still coming soon. And the rest sold out. Meghan is a terrible businesswoman. And Angela, it is extraordinary, isn't it? She had one opportunity to get a whole load of product ready, and no one's going to be coming back weeks later checking on when the edible flowers are available. She botched this launch.
Yes, I mean, it just shows you, because she's relying on herself. No CEO. She's in charge of everything, and she's just not good at it. She's absolutely hopeless, that you have to think ahead and do things in advance. But I think she's got rid of that. I think the response to it was so poor that she actually is not going to do that anymore. She's getting rid of jam and honey and, all that sort of banal stuff. And she wants to do more grown-up things. So she can't hang on to anything, really. She can't hang on to friends for a very long time. She can't hang on to husbands for a very long time without it turning. And it's the same with what she's making. She's doing all these things, sending them round. Nobody's interested. Nobody wants to know because of her very sort of strange and unpleasant behavior most of the time. And so she's not doing it. I think she feels that it all went wrong. So very quickly she must do something else. But you could give it a bit more of a chance, because she spent a whole year trying to get it going, and she was thinking about it and worrying about it and wearing special clothes all the time about it. But then, boom, it's gone. She just gets she can't be
Well, what's
bothered
so interesting,
to
Angela,
spend the
in the
details.
podcast, she's trying to do that thing that she does, which is rewrite history. Because you'll remember we spoke about it a lot. There was the whole American Riviera orchard drama. That was the name that she wanted. She couldn't get it through the copyright. She couldn't get it through the trademarks because she'd been incredibly shoddy with her business practices. But in this episode, Angela, we're meant to believe that actually she never really wanted American Riviera Orchard all along. She always wanted As Ever, and it was just us who she was tricking, right? She just wanted to keep it a secret from us. Angela Levin, listen to this. But first, don't eat breakfast until you learn about caloric bypass. Your breakfast is setting you up for the entire day to either gain weight or lose it. The term breakfast literally means to break your fast that you started the night before. About 4 hours after you eat dinner, your body switches from the nutrients we get from food to the stored glycogen we have in our body. Once glycogen stores are depleted, typically after 8 to 12 hours of fasting, the body shifts to burning fat for energy. Fatty acids are released from fat stores where they are converted into ketone bodies through a process called ketogenesis. Then, when you eat breakfast in the morning, the body starts the cycle again. This is where the caloric bypass comes into play. Dr. Gundry, a heart surgeon in California, learned that if you break your nightly fast with something called MCTs, or medium chain triglycerides, you can actually keep burning fat throughout the day and use it for energy. But there are specific types of food that contain these MCTs. Using this breakfast breakthrough, he was able to lose 70 pounds just through diet, and he did this in his 60s. You can find out all about it and his exact method by going to thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. That's thehealthyfat.com/outspoken, or you can click in the link in the description box below, or use the QR code if you're watching on YouTube or Rumble. Now, it is important to remember that everybody's body processes fat differently, and it all depends on your unique metabolic type, which is why in this video he released for my special viewers, he talks all about it. It really is quite fascinating. It may even change the way you think about your health. So go to thehealthyfat.com/outspoken or click on the link in the description box below. But now, back to the show.
And also to be working on something quietly.
Yeah.
I had secured As Ever as a name in 2022. And then as everything started to evolve last year and bringing in a partner the size that it was, and it was just so interesting because you remember I said, I like American Riviera as an umbrella.
Yeah.
And then to be able to have verticals beneath it and maybe have the orchard really small.
Yeah.
But when that's not feasible, suddenly it became this word salad. I didn't love that so much. They said, okay, well, let's go back to the thing that I've always loved.
Yeah.
Let's use the name that I had protected for a reason, that had been sort of under wraps. And then we were able to focus in the quiet and put our heads down and build on something that no one was sniffing around to even see about. It was just really, really helpful to have that quiet period, which you would know after spending so many years working on something, building it, and the pivots that you had to take with it.
Angela, I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but that's just bullshit. It's just a complete and utter outright lie. As Ever was a desperate last-minute move when she failed to get American Riviera Orchard through. She'd launched the Instagram page, Angela, for American Riviera Orchard. All of the branding was out there. So it's like, this is again why Meghan is never going to connect with an audience, because when you fail in life, sometimes you just have to hold your hands up and say, you know what? I made a mistake. I mucked up. Certainly for me, during the launch of Outspoken, there's a whole list of things I could say where I got this wrong, I didn't understand this. But what she tries to do is say, oh, this was genius. This was like, my mistake was actually just a secret genius move that I was just hiding from all of you. And it's like, no, you don't launch a brand with an Instagram. I just see how her mind works, and it's so weird.
But isn't it interesting that she says that calls it a word salad? I mean, so many people have called what she's been doing and what she says as a word salad. And now she's writing it about herself. She's picked it up.
Yes, exactly.
Really?
You chose that word salad, love. God,
It's just
so true.
really strange. And when you're saying that about your own work and you give it the most terrible sort of saying that it's a word salad, which means that it's absolutely hopeless, no good, rubbish. So that's what she's saying about herself, trying to look after herself and still carrying on with things. You get sort of cross, don't you? Because you can't work it out and you know it's not your fault.
Yeah, totally. But Angela, I mean, the thing is that the labels were printed, right? The scam jam, the 51st American Riviera Orchard scam jams were sent out to celebrities. Now, actually, if you look here on that label, Angela, Orchard wasn't small at all. So what's she talking about? In that podcast, she said it was going to be American Riviera big, and then Orchard was going to be small. Total lie. So that wasn't true. And she had put a lot of thought into this logo, of course, with her calligraphy, local branding, regal logo, royal inspired gold. So the whole thing is just hilarious because it's like, we know that you just mucked up, and maybe that's okay if you're just honest about it. But Angela, then the podcast wraps, and I just wanted to play you one final part because, again, I think it shows why these conversations are so difficult, because effectively Katie Lee is just another lovey on the payroll telling Meghan how brilliant she is at everything.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm doing the podcast right now, the show and the brand.
Yeah.
And I went, that's 3 launches at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of moving pieces, but it's also energizing.
Yeah, but I mean, I look at what's coming up for you and it all makes complete sense because nobody entertains like Meghan, okay? You know, everything is just beautiful and intentional and thoughtful. And that's why you're not going to lose either.
Thank you. Katie, I love you. You're the best.
I love you, Angela. You're just amazing. You know, you're just the best person in the world. It's what all the guests have to do.
But
they know the script.
This woman wants to keep her putting money into what she's doing.
Highbrow hippie is her brand, yeah.
And actually, she needs to give her the compliments. Like everybody else has to do that. Otherwise, Meghan doesn't want to know. Even when Harry came along in the sixth talk about her, what she was doing in her life and how wonderful she was. He was only allowed there 3 minutes and he could only say, "You're wonderful, you've done so well." And then he had to go. This is a very odd. Have you seen how she kisses her friend? I mean, it looks as if she's sucking up her side of her face in the most absolutely awful way. I mean, that's not just a friendship kiss, is it? You know,
no, it's like ownership, isn't it? It's ownership. Yeah. This is all about me. This is my product. And actually, Katie Lee, we're such good friends, aren't we? You're so part of my life. In Katie Lee's head, she's like, I'm terrified of this woman. She's writing the checks, and I'm not even going to tell her about my boyfriend. It says a lot. Angela, I want to move on to this Easter stunt with the ducklings that appeared over the weekend on Instagram, because the Mail is now reporting on conspiracy theorists. And you know, Angela, what my message is. The moment someone uses that term conspiracy theorist, it's always true. Anytime the mainstream media says you're a conspiracy theorist, because I'm constantly called a conspiracy theorist, and it's always about things that prove true in just a few weeks or months' time. So in this case, the Mail Online is saying internet conspiracy theorists accuse Meghan Markle of staging her Easter duckling video after noticing a key detail. And they point to some posts on X which said, You just know this was a setup. Poor ducks had to be filmed with Megs. She just happened to be there with the cameraman when the ducks crossed. Sure. Another saying, oh, look, the camera is set up to have Meghan right in the center of the shot and the ducks are slightly off camera. She literally just got doled up for that 5 seconds of just herself with some ducks. Oh, I don't believe her. It's a scam. The ducks were brought in to record Markle's ad, and a normal person would post a video of the mother duck and her beautiful ducklings. Meghan had someone film her, so she, not the ducks, are the star of the video in full costume and makeup. And the Mail actually ran a poll on this, Angela, and there were thousands and thousands of votes. And the question was, did Meghan stage the duck video? 93% of people said yes. What do you reckon?
Well, it was obviously phony, wasn't it? I think she wants to succeed as being so soft and nice that she loves birds and mummy ducks and baby ducks. Oh, it's so lovely. It's like another sort of family. But it's had the most amazing attention. People have been furious by it because it's such a stupid thing to do as well. And her facial gestures were bizarre in the extreme, as if she could never believe in having such luck that is absolutely amazing. And of course, by luck, she's wearing a very expensive white dress. But no, that never mind about that. But she can't believe that she's seeing that. It'll make her so happy, and it's just lovely. What a surprise. But actually, really, it's ridiculous. And she wants to be loved. She wants to be liked, and she doesn't know how to do it. It's flops everywhere in every direction. People don't understand what she's after. I mean, it's just a nonsense, isn't it? Just a silly Billy. Look at that, with the mouth open wide. Just amazing. I've never had this experience in my life.
But Angela, she was so happy over Easter because her Jake, her friend, her good friend, Jake Rosenberg, the photographer, was there with her, Angela. And you think Meghan is sending some type of secret coded message via this photo?
Yes, I do.
Explain.
I absolutely do. I think that she's failed with so much of what she's been cooking and finding out about how people are what people are like, because she doesn't give them a chance to speak. That here she is away from Harry, and she's giving him much too much of a close cuddle, I think, for a woman of her age who's supposed to be frantically in love with her husband and have 2 children. I think she's actually saying, look, I'm ready now to move on. Take no notice of Harry anymore. And if you're a billionaire, please get in touch with me. I think that's what it's all about, because it's so crude in a way that I think that she's very careful about what she does about things. Harry's away. Everybody knows that Harry's away. So here she is with this long-term friendship who says it's absolutely wonderful, and she doesn't mind putting her hands in the dirt. And I thought, well, that's a rather strange thing for a photographer to say. And they get on fantastically well. It's wonderful. It's just out of control, I think. But this is a loud message. I'm now available. Harry served his duty. I'm fed up with him because he doesn't know what he's doing. I have to look after him like a baby. So what I want now is a strong, handsome, lovable man who's got absolutely loads of money. This photographer is, of course, married and got a small child, but, forget about that. That doesn't bother Meghan at all. But I'm sure it is to reach out to somebody who can take her to the next step, because a lot of the steps she's done aren't working. And of course, Harry now is of very little use to her. And she tells him what to do. She won't listen to anybody who tells her what to do, and Harry will only listen to her. Now, if you think of that mess around, she's got her own plotting very well sorted out, and this guy, who she used to use a lot. They used to be very close friends, and you have to have a little thing about what very close friends mean. And then she's gone back to
Well, yeah,
him now.
because Angela, look at this Instagram post from October 2014, and Meghan was obviously divorced by this point. I'm not sure about Jake Rosenberg's relationship status, but his caption on Instagram said, "A delicious meal with Miss at the Tig, hashtag always working, hashtag delicious, hashtag food, hashtag beautiful, hashtag girl, hashtag home for the day, hashtag Toronto." And then you see one of the comments there from Guy T said, "Nicest couple." Now, again, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but there is only 12 comments on that Instagram post, Angela. So if he had any concerns about someone saying that, he would have just deleted it.
Yes, of course. I mean, he looks quite mischievous, which is up to him. That's perfectly okay. But she is moving on. Absolutely. This is the first picture. Because, I mean, look, when she was in Victor's Games, she was kissing Harry and cuddling Harry, and they're so much in love. Boom, the rest is gone. You know, it's all these things are quick, whether it's jam, whether it's a man, whether it's a girlfriend, you know, she adores them until she doesn't. And then they've gone.
Oh, indeed. Oh, indeed. Angela Levin, thank you so much. And if you want first access to all my royal exclusives, including the uncancelled after show with the likes of Angela and Lady Colin Campbell and the Royal News Network, sign up to my Substack, www.outspoken.live. It would mean a lot to me as well. It's a great way to keep in touch. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.